Good afternoon, everybody. It's so good to be able to come and video a little bit today. I wanted to give you an update on what I've been stitching and talk to you a little bit about it. Today, I was able to pull out my Hawk Run Hollow. I was using it for 2 of my acrostics, my 24 hours of cross stitch, and for my daily 30 acrostic as well. That's Sweetheart. So we're working on Serendipitous and Sweetheart. Those are the 2 big acrostics I'm working on. The Magazine Monthly is a shorter one. It's Wave, and I got 1 of those letters yesterday. So I only have 3 left in that one. So I'm not anxious about that one at all. But the others are fairly long, so I'm trying to work on them just a little bit. Well, pulled it out. I'll remind you what it looks like. Mine is spring at Hawk Run Hollow, and I have done through here. And these are the 2 squares I'm working on for my journey piece this year with my guild. And this one is the one that I had started on, and I had a little bit done across the bottom, just the ground. I'm not even sure you can see that, but it's just these little mounds of dirt. And I had a tiny 1 color of this flower done. So today, my goal was 300 stitches, and I hit it. I actually stitched 302. That's pretty close for me, you know. It worked out beautifully to do that. So here's how I got there. Let me see if you can see this close enough. Okay. So there are little tiny flowers. I'm not sure you can see them because they're about the color of the fabric across the tops of these little hills. And then there are these little beautiful salmon colored, same colors in here, flowers across here. They're just floating. They don't have any kind of stem or anything like that. I finished this flower. I had to do the 2 colors here, and there's a 3rd color that has 2 stitches on each side just for a shading effect on that flower. And then this half of this stem for the larger flower, but when you add it all together, it's 302 stitches. But there's my progress. Hawk Run is deceptively stitch dense. It looks simple, you know, 3 flowers and some words, but it's a lot of those stitches in those 3 flowers. But I am tickled, very tickled to have gotten that 300 stitches in. It's going well, and that helps me push it along for my guild journey piece to get 300 stitches in it. I would like to just make you aware of something, if you don't mind me giving you a personal update. You'll notice I'm wearing glasses today. I don't usually film with glasses, but I have hit that time in my life where I am considering having my cataracts removed, and I have a consult with a cataract surgeon on the 17th of February. I'd appreciate your positive thoughts on that. I'm going to go talk to them, let them check everything out, and see if they concur with my ophthalmologist to see if they think it's time to do that. But in order to allow them to test and examine and measure everything, you can't wear contacts in your eyes for 2 weeks prior to your appointment. And so today starts 2 weeks. So I can't wear my contacts, and that has been life-changing because I wear them every day. So I have some very old glasses. You may see me in them sometimes. These are my old prescription, and they are quite old. They're probably about 10 years old. And they're fine for walking around in the house and doing laundry and, you know, cooking or something like that. But if I have to read anything, they don't work. So I had, in December, when I talked to my eye doctor, and she realized that it was the cataracts that were making my vision very blurry, and it wasn't anything she could do with my prescription to make me be able to see my fabric better. She told me to go get some really, really strong readers, stronger than what I had been using to supplement my contacts for small fabrics. So I went and got these. I think these are about a 3.5 or something. They're really strong. But I will tell you, they're excellent. And when I got ready to film just now, I took my glasses off and was going to film, and I was blurred. I thought, it's okay if I can't see me, but what if I can't see my project enough to point to something correctly or show you what I'm talking about? So you may see me in glasses for the next couple of weeks, and then maybe longer. I don't know how long the process takes. I think they only do one eye at a time, and there's, you know, a week or two in between, and I don't know. I don't know what all is going to happen. I'll know more February 17th, and maybe I'll give you an update then. But just in case you were wondering, I will have a new fashion accessory for a while. And I keep trying to take them off, you know, because I'm not used to wearing them. It's kind of funny. All right, well, I'm going to get back to stitching. I'm going to see what else I can accomplish today, and I hope you are having a great day of stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Well, it's much later in the day on the 3rd of February on a Friday night. But I am thrilled to let you know I was able to get some more stitching in today. I'm going to stop where I'm at because I've got some more stitching that I want to try to get done tonight if I can, to get a good start for tomorrow. So tonight I pulled out something I wasn't planning on doing, but when I started looking at my prompts with my new challenge that came out today, I realized that I had this on 2 prompts, and I had earlier said, you know, I don't have another one that I could do that would knock out 2, but in actuality, I did. I found it. So Teresa Kogut is standing for the letter T in both the 24 hours of cross stitch for the serendipitous. It's the T and the tuss. And it's also standing for the T at the end of sweetheart, the last T. So Teresa Kogut is the designer, of course, and the pattern is Joyful Scene. So I pulled this out, and I put in 314 stitches because I needed 300, and I'll tell you kind of how I did that. Some of it will be obvious, but some of it won't be. So I'll tell you what I stitched. So I started out, I put the antlers on the deer, I put the heart in, came on down and did the white snowflake. The little star was already there. I came down and did the neck till it gets to the part that goes all the way across. And then I just followed the outline of the darker color all the way down to the legs, and I did his legs, front legs. And then I did the little pale part on his chest right there and got that done. And that's where I've stopped for the night because that's 314 stitches, and I want to make progress on some other things. This certainly met the prompt. I will tell you, I really wanted to go ahead and stitch that whole little reindeer, but that would be probably another prompt, and so I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm just going to see if I can use this again, and if I can, then I'll pull it back out and I'll finish the reindeer for that prompt. But for now, it meant what I needed. I'll put it back in my project bag, and I'm going to look and see what else I want to do. I hope that you're having a great time. I'm watching Cindy's cross stitch tonight, and she made a comment about the fact that she doesn't make plans. She likes to stitch whatever she wants, whenever she wants. And I know that she prefers that, and I think that's awesome. But it made me stop and think how my stitching pattern has evolved. And when I first started working with prompts, I would sit down with my calendar and I would identify every piece I was going to work on, each prompt, and I would assign it to a day on my calendar and write it in. It was very tight in, it was very strict. And on occasion, I would go to pull that out and I would say, I really don't want to stitch on it today. And then I'd have to go through the effort of swapping it all around. It's funny because I have now morphed that process into simply making a list of all the prompts and what I hope to stitch for that prompt. And then every day I get up and I say, what do I want to stitch on today? Here are the things I need to stitch, but what do I want to work on today? And I tend to try to do the ones that are the heavy hitters first, you know, the ones that'll hit more than one prompt at one time, because it makes me feel like I'm really making progress. But I don't have to. And I don't go through my calendar and assign what I'm going to do on any given day anymore, unless it's a special event like a start along, or, you know, like when I wanted to bead Christmas sentiments on the 1st of February, so it could be my first finish in February, so that it would meet my whip go call. So those little things I plan, but I guess in a way, I stitch what I want when I want to, Cindy. That's kind of how it's evolved, and I guess that's because as stitchers, you want to be in the right mood to pick up a piece that you're working on. I do like to plan, that is my nature, so I have planned what all I'd like to stitch to meet these prompts. But when I do them and how I do them, that kind of occurs every day. So that's kind of neat. And thanks for saying that, because it helped me kind of think about how I do it, and caused me to realize that it had changed. So that's awesome. Well, I'm going to let you get back to stitching. I'm going to get back to stitching. I can hear my husband talking to the dog. I don't know what he and Coco are up to, but they're having a conversation. And I will hopefully talk to you tomorrow. Happy stitching. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, it's February 4th. It's Saturday, and my husband has gone out of town today to attend a funeral. One of his hiking buddies lost his mother-in-law to a long illness, and my husband felt like he should go and be there for him, even though he had never met his mother-in-law. He certainly knows the family that's grieving her, so he went today to do that. So Coco and I took a nice long walk this morning. It's brisk and chilly here, but not bad. It's 45, which some of you who have below zero temperatures and snow on the ground, you know, are laughing, but that's a bit brisk for us here. So it's beautiful though, sunny day. I enjoyed the walk, and I think Coco did too. One of our neighbor's dogs just ran right through his electric collar fence thing and came out to greet us because he wanted to see Coco so badly. That was funny. But his owner came flying out of the house. It scared him, I think. Must have set an alarm off. And Bailey was just standing in the road, nose to nose, greeting Coco. They were wagging their tails and, you know, having a little conversation there in the road, and I was just waiting on him. He was so funny. He got real upset when he came out. I think he thought it scared me. And I said, no, Bailey just came to say hi. He hadn't done anything wrong. So that was funny. I think Coco enjoyed that. Getting to see her friend. So today I wanted to finish up a prompt I started last night. Got a few stitches in last night, and then just decided that 2 prompts in one day was enough, and I was sleepy and I was going to bed, and I did. Coco was happy to see me. So this morning I got up and got breakfast and came up here and finished my prompt. So I was working on I Am a Needlesmith. I'm thoroughly enjoying this piece. Lots of blocks of color, so it's not hard to stitch. I'm enjoying my By the Bay pieces. Now I've got 2 of these projects, you know, ongoing. But this one, I think the last time I showed it to you, I had just finished breaking the page break, going below the page break all the way across, in some spots lower than others, but I had completed at least the top page. This piece is 2 pages, top half and bottom half. So today, one of my prompts was in a challenge in my Daily 30 group, and it was to stitch on a piece. I don't remember the prompt. I've got Monday's Child down here, but they had the poems, the poem that includes what each child is, and oh, I think Fair of Face is Monday's Child because I had to stitch on something that had a face. And of course, I Am a Needlesmith does. So this is what I did. I put in 320 stitches in this, and it's very simple. It's in two places. I did the dark green that wraps around the house here that has the little flowers sitting through there. And then I did this darker greeny brown that's the lawn in front of that house down to the riverbank. And so the next color will be to bring that water all the way down and across there. But I think that I'm going to stitch the girl next because she is the center of everything on here, and I want to make sure I place her correctly. And if I stitch her all the way down and then stitch the flower, oh, here it is, the flower that goes all the way up, those are the two most important pieces to get placed, I believe. And then I think I'll stitch all the little accoutrement around her and then come back up in the middle and fill in, because I think somehow I am one row off right here. And I don't want that to mess up her. So I'm gonna stitch her first and everything around her, because then I can fill in the background and it won't matter if I'm a stitch off or something like that. It just will not matter. So I think that's my plan, but that's how she's looking. She's just slightly over halfway mark on the pattern. But that met two prompts today. In addition to Monday's Child, it also meant that I, in Serendipitous, for my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic, because I used it for I Am a Needlesmith. And so I'm going to post this picture in both places now, and I'm actually thinking I may do something unique today. I got a puzzle for Christmas from my friend Cheryl, the one I stitched the Raggedy Ann for, and it is all needlework themed, and so I'm kind of feeling the itch. I haven't done a puzzle in years, and I used to do them a lot as a teenager with my mom. That's what we did on rainy days. We'd put puzzles together and listen to radios, music. So I think what I might do, it's a bit, brisk, and it's pretty out, but it's cold. And so I won't be taking Coco out too much today, just when she needs to go. Might be a good day to start that puzzle. So I think I'm going to do that. And I may do that at least till lunch, and then come back up here after lunch maybe and stitch. Happy stitching, everybody, and whatever other crafting you might be doing today. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is just a little bit later on the 4th of February, and I am thrilled to be able to share with you that I met another prompt. I actually met two, because I've decided to use this for another prompt in the Monday's Child in the Daily 30 group. So I'll be using it for the U in 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic, and for one of the prompts in Monday's Child. And this one is For Unto Us a Child is Born, and I think it's called For Unto Us. It's a Silver Crink sampler, and I started this for my Whip Go start in January. It was one of the called pieces. And today I did 389 stitches because I needed 300 for my prompt, and I just wanted to finish the word born. So I had the N outlined. I haven't done any of the inside of the letters, but I had the N outlined. So today I did the R, I did the O plus the little manger shed around the O and the B. So I completed the lettering for the word born, and I completed this one little motif in there to go with it to get the 389 stitches. So there's a lot left to stitch in here, believe it or not. I still got to do that second bird over here behind the baby's head, holding up the other side of that cloth that he's lying in. And I have to do those 3 little sheep as well. So that's what I have left to do. And I'm thinking that there's little pinpricks of X's. I guess there's meant to be stars in the piece, but you can't really see them in the page. But there is grass underneath, so I have to do that as well. So still quite a bit: a bird, 3 sheep, and all the grass. And then I have to stitch the inside of those letters because they're hollow right now, but there's actually a stitch that goes in the middle. And as long as it doesn't blend in with my fabric, I will do that. So that's my second prompt for the day. I'm really tickled to get that in. It's now time to get supper with my hubby, and so I'll be leaving you to do that. And I hope you've had a great Saturday. I certainly have. Tommy and Coco were able to walk about 3.5 miles today because it was brisk, but it was beautifully sunny and it wasn't raining. It was wonderful. So I hope you've had a great Saturday, as I said, and I hope that tomorrow you have a restful day on Sunday and that hopefully you get to stitch. So I will talk to you if I have anything to share with you again tomorrow. Happy stitching, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? It is February the 6th. It is Monday, and I took a little breather this weekend. I stitched, but I was gifted a puzzle for Christmas by my friend Cheryl, and I got the urge to put it together. And so I've been working on that off and on this weekend, and I worked on it a lot last night when I finished stitching. I stayed up way too late, and I won't even tell you how late. And then this morning I got up and there wasn't that much left of it, and I finished it. So I'll put a clip in here to show you the puzzle because it's needlework. It's a puzzle about our craft, and I think it's great. So I'll share that with you. This is the puzzle that my friend Cheryl gifted me for Christmas. And I decided, because the weather is so cold right now, that I would like to put it together. So a couple of days ago, I started working on this beauty. And here you go. I finished it today. Trying to get far enough away for you to see the whole thing at once. Isn't that lovely? I think it's beautiful. And you know, I love the subject matter. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a closer look. There's the thread keep. There are different hoops with what looks like canvas, I think. This is more needlepoint than cross stitch. But, you know, it's still needlepoint. It's still needlework for me. There's the tape measure, and there's your needle. And there you can see some of the stitching that's been accomplished. And there's a variety of floss in here. There's DMC, but then there's also other flosses, as you can see up here. That looks more like what we used to call flower floss. And it just keeps on keeping on to the other side. Isn't that lovely? So I'm thrilled. It was a great deal of fun. I have memories of putting puzzles together with my mom. It was a rainy day activity that she and I did when we were young. I was young. And it just brought back a lot of fun and a lot of memories. And as my husband and I were talking about it today, I reminded him that every piece that you fit in is like a little tiny victory. It's like a little accomplishment. And then when you get the whole thing done, it's like finishing a huge piece. But I just thought you might like to see it because I think it's a beautiful picture. And I'm really tickled that I was able to get it finished. I hope you liked that. I do enjoy a good puzzle, but I will tell you, I can get easily obsessed with what I'm doing. So I did that puzzle in 2 days, finished it up, 1,000 pieces. I worked on it a lot. And so now I feel like I need to catch up on my stitching. But fortunately, my goal for this week on my 4 items that I put in my Finish It February, the one for this week is It's Spring Fever. And if you'll recall, I'm taking just a small piece of this. I'm making it into a pin keep, and it's going to be a gift giveaway, an exchange piece at a retreat this summer. So here's the top, and I've added on there the name of the retreat and the year, and then this is the side border. I took it straight off the pattern. There are 4 separate little combinations in here. There's 3 colors of blue. They're very close together. But there are actually 4 different combinations that they've used those 3 colors of blue. So I was able to replicate that 3 times, and then I needed 1 more, so I just used the first one over again. And I think it's now the right length to go all the way around my topper up here. So that's my plan. I am gonna iron on some interfacing on both the border and the topper before I cut them out, and then I will serge them or zigzag around them. I don't have a serger. And then I will stitch them together. Now I will need to have another square for the bottom here that will go on the bottom of my piece. But I will be stitching those together, and just like you would a biscornu, only I'm not going to be tilting it to make it the funny shape. I will just be making it square. And then I'll put my pins with it. So I'm excited that I got the stitching done on this. Now, my Finish It February goal was to stitch it and fully finish it. So I'm not finished yet, but I've got all week to get that done. And so I am going to take a little breather now and go and make dinner for my husband and I. He and Coco are over hiking through the woods at Don Carter State Park today. And I think they'll be hungry by the time they get home, that's for sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing my little puzzle, 1,000-piece puzzle. Not quite that little, but I enjoyed putting it together and identifying all the things that were in it. And now I get to come back this evening. I'm stitching with friends on a Zoom call tonight. So I've got to look over at my prompts and see what I want to do tonight when we get on the phone. Something that I can stitch hopefully without making too many mistakes. And I hope that I'll have things to share with you later in the week as I continue to stitch. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. I'm back again. It's later, but I did get a little more stitching done in my Zoom stitching made up. I pulled out my PuntiniPuntini when I think of stitching for the designer focus for Garan Stitchery, and I wanted to put a few stitches into this just while we talked, and I did. I put in 225 stitches, and I got the skeins of floss started. I've got to put the labels on them next time, but that's what I got done. And I'm happy with it. I'm just in love with this fabric. I think it's just beautiful. I went and looked up the name of this fabric because I wanted to be able to share it with you because it's just so beautiful. The name of the fabric is Mind Blowing. It's from Fortnite Fabrics. I ordered mine through Garage Stitchery, but I'm just absolutely in love with this fabric. I think it's beautiful. And I wanted to just pop that in and share it with you because I went and looked it up just so I could tell you what I was stitching it on. All right, I'll let you get back to the regular video. I just wanted to pop on here and show you what progress I had made, and I am just delighted that I got a little bit of stitching on that project for the Designer Focus Month. Hi everyone, good evening. This is Dina. It is February the 7th. It's Tuesday, and I'm here to share with you my stitching. Had a great day of stitching today. I had very little appointment time. Just a great day at home for the most part. I did do an errand today, but not much. So I am excited to share with you what I got done today. I decided today to start on one of my Whip Go goals. I have finished the 2 on one board, so that one's complete for the month. And then I had 2 on my second board, just my regular Whip Go board. And one of them was the New Start, the May Wordplay, and one was a New Start, Casting a Spell. The goal for the May Wordplay is 5 hours of stitching, and the goal for Casting a Spell is 1 small section. I'm also going to use one of these for several prompts for my acrostics. So, as you know, I like to do the one that has the biggest bang for the buck first. I like to see those little entries I've made on my spreadsheet. I like to cross them off. So today I picked up my Whip Go call number 11, May Wordplay. And I'll show you what that's supposed to be like when it's finished. Just as cute as it can be. It's got all kinds of gardening terms on there. Potting shed, a hoe, dirt, clay pots. You know, I'm not a gardener. My dad was. My dad grew beautiful vegetables every summer and gave them to all the neighbors. My mother was sort of a flower gardener. She had beautiful flowers all the time, every year. I kill anything green. You just put it in the room with me, it will die. I don't know what it is. I can't keep anything alive. And I have dear friends that constantly give me plants for my birthday, and my husband tries so hard to keep them alive for me. They die. They die. It may take a whole year, but they will go. So I don't, other than fresh cut flowers that are supposed to be here for a very short time and gone, I don't do the gardening thing because I just don't want to watch them die. Anyway, even so, because my mom and my dad enjoyed gardening, and that was a big part of their summer, I thought, well, I'll just leave it that theme because it means something to me for my family, not necessarily for me as my hobby, but it was my mother's for sure. It was one of hers. So that's what it's going to look like. I put mine on a blue fabric, the name of which is Summer Sky. It is, unfortunately, the count I had was 28 counts, so this one may be a little bit bigger than some of the others that I've done, but they're not going to all be out at the same time. And my thoughts are that I'm going to make them pillows. And so I'll be building them as part of a, vignette, and so it won't matter if one's a little bit bigger than the others because I'm not going to mount it on some sort of board or anything. So this is where I got to. I'm sitting back here a little bit so the light doesn't blow it out so badly. But I started in this upper left-hand corner, and I worked my way down because that's the way the words kind of went and the picture. And there's 2 stitches missing, the blue and the flag, because that's on order, and I thought it would be here by now, but it's not. I've got the notification that the label has been made, but I've asked for tracking and it hasn't left yet. So anyway, it'll be here. It'll be here in a few days, and by the time I work on this next time, I'll have it. So this is my new start on May wordplay, and this represents stitching of a total of 625 stitches, 5 hours. So I'm loving it. I think that's so pretty. I don't know if you can see the color of the fabric. Maybe right there. It's a beautiful light blue. Just really pretty. And if you could see the modeling, that would be great, but it is so slight, it's hard to even see it with the naked eye. But this was in my stash, and it was a piece that was left over from something else. And so I thought, yeah, this is what I'm going to use. So here you go. There's my good start. I'm excited. So that whip go goal is met. I have one left, and it's my smallest one. So yay for me. I think I planned that well. I will let you know too, it's actually in my 24 hours of cross stitch as one of my prompts. It's in my monthly magazine for the word is wave, and so it's my W wordplay, my wordplay. And then in my monthly acrostic for Daily 30, which is Sweetheart, it's the W in Sweetheart. It also stands for wordplay in the title. So awesome. My whip go and 2 to 3 other prompts. That's pretty good. That's pretty good to get 4 things in one, you know. I'm excited. I did have to put in 5 hours to meet the whip go goals, so I knew that would meet enough stitches for any of my prompts, because in one of them I had to do 300 stitches, and I definitely did that. I did double that, so we're doing okay. Well, I've had a great day of stitching. We'll see what tomorrow brings. In the morning, I actually get to talk with my friend Glow, and we always stitch together. So I'll have to pick out what I'm going to stitch and get it ready before we talk. We'll see. So that's the news, all the news that's fit to print, as they say. And I'm going to call it a night and go join Coco and my husband. They just went to bed a few minutes ago, so I'm going to go join them. And as you know, every time I say goodnight, I usually try to tell you to remember to have happy stitching. Good night, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is Wednesday, February 8th, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my stitching today. I am working on a prompt. I was talking this morning to my friend Glow, so I wanted something that I could do that was fairly easy to stitch. And I pulled out Pandemic. This was my free download when she first released that during 2020. So I don't have any kind of color of any kind, but I'm working on pages, I think it's 4 and 5 on the first row, and got a long piece of fabric here. So I want to show you what I did. I'm not sure I can see you at the same time, so I'll just have to talk about it. I worked down in here because I had originally stitched these 2 flowers up in here, and then I had said the next time that I work on this, I'll have this little piece right here. It stopped right here. I could, you know, count off of that. So I did. I counted off of that. I worked it all the way down to the page break. It's in the really light blue. And then I came over here and did the butterfly. So now this piece is complete all the way to here. All the way. Everything over here, everything at the bottom, everything is done. So now I'm actually starting in this section to try to finish this page. And I think this page ends, oh, let's see, right about midway right here. So that's about how much I have left to do on that page. And then that's the partial page at the end. So I would really like to make an aggressive goal that maybe next month I finish that page, that next to last page if I can. I'll put that kind of in my planning and see if that happens. But today I actually did a decent amount. I put in 315 stitches. For me, that's a little over 2 hours, right at 2 hours or so. And that's about how much time I had today to give it. So we have choir practice tonight, and I've got to get ready to do that. I have a few chores to do here at the house. You know, I have to keep that running too. So working on that as well, and really enjoying this piece. I find it quite relaxing and easy to follow. Having a monochromatic piece, you're just stitching. You're just following X's. And then for me, because it is so variegated, I am trying to make sure I flow a little bit from light to dark, dark to light in some way so that there's not too many harsh breaks. That's, you know, I do that whenever I can. So it's been fun. I liked it. So this piece that I mentioned I was doing for a prompt, it is in my 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic serendipitous, and it's the P in serendipitous. And then it was also in the daily 30 weekly challenge, bi-weekly challenge, and it met a prompt that was stitch on something that makes you happy. And you had to stitch either 300 or 400 stitches, and I got the minimum at 315, so I figured that was okay. And this makes me happy. As you know, I love blue, and I love this variegated blue, and so every time I stitch on it, it kind of lifts my spirits and makes me happy. So I used that today for 2 prompts, which was wonderful. I hadn't planned on that, but I had actually thought of another whip that I was going to try to put in for that spot. And I hadn't been able to stitch on it yet. And when I went to look this morning, I had a choice. I could have picked that one or Pandemic. And I grabbed Pandemic. I wanted to stitch Pandemic first. And I thought, that's my clue. This one makes me happier. So I decided to change it and use it for that. So therefore, I got 2 prompts out of it instead of just 1. That was great. Okay, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. Happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday night, February 9th, and it's been a crazy busy day. Coco's been to the groomer. My husband and I got her home from the groomers tonight, fed her supper, and we thought she was going to jump on her ottoman and take a nap. That's what she looked like she was getting ready to do. So we decided to slip off and have a quiet little dinner, and we weren't gone long, and when we got back, Coco had thrown up her dinner. Anyway, don't know if it was her being a little upset in her tummy over treats that she may have gotten at the groomers today, or if it was just a long day for her and she had stressed out because Coco's not used to being in a crate. When she goes to the groomer, they have to keep her in a crate when they're not working with her. And she was there today from 8 o'clock in the morning until 4 this afternoon. Long day. So, and I love the way her groomer does her grooming, and she gives her breaks in between. She doesn't make her just stay on the table the whole time or, you know, deal with it the whole time. She does parts of it and then lets her rest, and that's what takes so long. But either way, we had to watch her pretty close tonight, and I didn't get up here till pretty late. So I decided rather than to start stitching, I would try to finish my goal for the week, which was to fully finish my smalls exchange for a retreat. And I'll remind you, this was the pattern that I took it from. I used this section right here, just this bird, and then I used this portion, not the corner, but these pieces for what was going to be my border, I guess as you call it. And here's my little mattress finish. So there you see the Blackbird design pattern, and this is the retreat. I'll cover that up because it isn't happening yet. And then I've got these beautiful, just another button company buttons that I really feel like match perfectly. And of course they look like little flowers, you know, like those are. And I have a whole set of these. They came in a set of 5. I just put them in here for you to see them. I'm going to take them back out and put them in this container until I'm ready to wrap this and exchange it, because I don't want anything happening with the pins, you know, as far as either breaking or I don't think they'll rust. I think they're stainless steel, but I don't know that for sure. And so I am just going to take them out until it's time, you know, to exchange it. This is the border that I was talking about. I just repeated the border around until I got to the end, and I calculated that pretty close, I must say. I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, so I think that's lovely. I love the colors in it. And of course the B is for Blackbird Designs. So that is my first attempt at a mattress finish. I think it's okay. I would be happy with it. It's not a Vana finish. It is not the pristine, perfect finish that you can get from Vana Pfeiffer. And Vana, I'm in awe of all that you do. But this is, I think, pretty good for my first attempt, and I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed, but I'm hoping that I'll, you know, improve as I go. I did cut a piece of foam core and put in the bottom to help make it a little weighted, because I just used filler, the lofting kind, you know, mountain mist kind of stuff, to put in here so that it would be soft and wouldn't bend any pins or, you know, anything like that. So this is going to be my exchange piece. I hope the person that receives it likes it. And I plan to put some other little goodies with it that might represent Georgia. Maybe, you know, some candies or something. I don't know. It's not required. I did check. It's not something that's expected. But I just feel like that it might be fun. So, there you go. That is taken care of. So now I can say that I have completed my second Finish It February goal. Not just the stitching, but the fully finishing part of it. I'm trying to put these back in these little holes, so I'll do that later. It's harder than I thought. And next, I can move on. So I have looked at my spreadsheet that I started out with the first of the month, and I marked things off as I went, and I've highlighted what's left to be done on any prompt on anything I have. And then to make it easier to read, I just turned it over on the back, and I just jotted it down. You know, this first row is things that will meet 3 prompts, and then it goes on down to 1 prompt at the end. And these were my 4 Finish It Februaries that I had left to do, and I can strike that one off now because that was to FFO this little mattress finish pin keep, which I have now done. So I now have next week, my focus on the Finish It February is to finish that first room for Kringles. So I will work on that probably starting Sunday. And I have Royal Games 1 to work on, Small Gift by Mary Englebright, my Dimensions kit, the Vintage Ornament, and let's see, Mr. Mittens is actually down for a prompt. and Miss Christmas Eve and Autumn Bell Pull. Those are things that I still have to do for the prompts and my acrostics that I already have going. And tomorrow, I'll have another challenge in the Daily 30 group that will give me 5 more prompts that I can work on if I choose to do so. So I'll have plenty of stitching to do for the rest of the month. There will not be a problem with that. I thank you for letting me share my little pillow with you. Here it is without the little pins, so you can see the design fully, I think. But in case you saw the name of it on there, Stitching in the Wild, that is a retreat that is happening in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in May, and it is being hosted by Ronnie and Gary from Garon Stitchery. And the last I talked with them about a week, a little over a week ago, they still had about 20 spots. So it's getting full. If you would like to go, what you do is go on their website and you'll look it up. It'll be like an item to purchase, and you just put one in your cart. That's your registration. And when you pay for that, they send you a notice that that you have registered, and give you all the information about making your hotel arrangements and that sort of thing. So if you're interested in going in May to Fort Lauderdale and stitch with all of us who will be there and shop. Gary and Ronnie are supposed to be bringing most of their shop with them, I hope. A lot of it anyway. And I think that will be a wonderful time. I'm so looking forward to it. Anyway, I'm going to call it a night. It is after 11. It is barely still the night, but I am feeling accomplished, and I'm going to go get some sleep and start over tomorrow. Thanks for letting me share that with you, and I hope you're having a great evening. Our weekend starts tomorrow. I hope you have great plans. We are having a couple of couples from our church over for dinner. I'm throwing a Mexican fiesta is what I call it. It's just a couple of Mexican dishes I've put together, but all the trimmings and whatnot, and we're just gonna have a good time. We are looking forward to it. So I will hopefully do all the prep I can do in the morning, and then have a little bit of stitching time in the afternoon before everybody gets here. So we'll see. If I do, you know what? I'll come back and share it with you. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is the 11th of February. It's Saturday, and I'm here to give you an update on what I've been stitching this morning. We had a lazy morning. It was great. We slept in quite a bit. I don't think we got out of bed till 8:30 or so. But it was nice to have just, a lazy day, not have to do anything. Well, I decided today, since I had the whole day without any obligations, our stitching group is meeting next week because the library is using the room we normally meet in today for a training session. So I didn't get to go with my stitching meetup as I normally would. So I'm at home stitching today. It's a good day to do that. It's overcast. The weather forecast is calling for 90% chance of rain today with snow tonight. Perfect day to stay home and stitch, don't you think? So I decided I would try to hit a couple of prompts that require a larger number of stitches, because I've got some good interrupted time that I should be able to stitch. My husband was kind enough to take Coco on a nice long walk this morning, so I got to stitch pretty early in the day. And I pulled out this piece that I am stitching for a gift, and it is Mr. Mittens. And I will insert a picture here of what he looked like when I got started today. And I am very pleased to tell you that I got 335 stitches in. My goal was 300 because that was what the prompt required. But you know me, I like to either run out my thread or finish something I'm working on. And so today it was to finish a little goal that I was working on. So I'm going to put this book behind here simply because this linen is so fine. You see right through it pretty much. Okay. So as you can tell, I did his entire arm and gloved. That's supposed to be his hand over here. And then I came down in here and I stitched one of the mittens that's hanging on his string. He's got, a string of mittens there that he's holding on to. And now what I'm going to do is put it away for today. But I think the next thing I'm going to work on with him will be to continue working on the mittens. There's I think it's a star right here. You can kind of see the point going into the breeches there. There's a star here, and I think it's down in here. And then there's another mitten over here, and then there is a mitten right next to this one right here, and then there's a heart. And this is where I'm thinking I'm going to use a button, because I do have a button for a mitten. But if I put it out here or over here close to this glove, it doesn't displace any stitching. I don't have to worry about my counting. If I put it right in here for this one or the star, I have to worry about filling in background and making sure the pattern matches, that sort of thing. So probably going to do it out here where I have open space. We shall see. Anyway, haven't done any back stitching on him. I hate to wait till the very end to do all the back stitching because there's a lot. But the way I'm stitching on it for prompts, I need to stitch where I can get the most stitches. And when you back stitch, as you know, I count 2 stitches for one because it's just one part of the X. It's just a back stitch. It's not a crisscross. So I have to stitch double the stitches in back stitching to get what I need. So I might wait until I have a prompt that requires a lower number of stitches that I can use this one for. Or when I'm just doing it because I want to, that it's not a prompt. But today I was really tickled. The prompt that this one met was in my Daily 30 group, and it was the prompt to stitch on a whip that you are working on that will be a gift. And as you know, this will be a gift for Stephanie's mom. And so that's what I did today. And I want to give it to her this year. I had hoped to give it to her last year, and I couldn't get enough momentum going to get that done. So fortunately, I had something else that I had made her, and she really liked it. So that was good. But this I'm hoping to be for this coming year of 2023. Well, I'm going to go back and do some more stitching. I haven't even figured out what I'm going to work on yet, but it won't take me long. I'll just look at my prompts. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Happy stitching, everybody. Well, hello, welcome back. It's a little bit later, and I just wanted to show you what I've been stitching the rest of the afternoon. I decided to try for another prompt that was in 2 of my acrostics. It's in the 24 hours of cross stitch, and it's in my Daily 30 acrostic that I have to do 300 stitches in. So I was aiming for 300 stitches, and this is the one that I pulled to work on. This is Small Gift, and the artist's name is Mary Englebright. I think you can see that right there. That's her, kind of her signature as well. But that's who designed this piece. And I'm using Englebright for the letter E in both acrostics. So I did stitch 313 stitches today, so it was enough to make both prompts. And here's what she's looking like now. I'm so excited. I got both of these flowers finished on her elbows. And the interesting thing to me is that they're not identical, but they're close. All the colors are the same. Then I was able to do the darker green on these sleeves and the cuffs. And then if you can see it, I started the dark green of her dress to continue going down. So lovely. Got so excited to get 313 stitches in there and to get to a completion of both her arms. And now I'm starting on that dress as it goes on down her body. And then eventually, after I get her in there, I can go and stitch what comes on each side and, of course, the snow around her. But I think she's lovely, and I have enjoyed working on her today. So she's done for the month, unless I use her for another prompt. But we have a new challenge that came out Friday, and I've already identified what I'm going to use to stitch on to meet that challenge. So I hope to be participating in that as the time goes by. When I did the Mr. Mittens earlier today, it completed one of the challenges that I had been working on. That was the last prompt of that challenge. So right now I have my 2 acrostics I'm working on, and of course my Finish It February items. I'll start the next one probably Sunday or Monday for next week, which is to finish that first room in Kringles. And then I'll just be stitching on these prompts in the meantime. So I think it's quite a manageable grouping. I got this out of there so you could see her, but I think you could see all of her without having to take them off, except I'm going to use my Q-snap next time on something else. So there you have it. Well, I think I'm gonna take a little breather and maybe go put some supper together, and then depending on what my husband wants to do, we'll either watch a YouTube channel together. We like to watch a young couple that are sailing around the world, and then play with Coco a little bit before I go to bed. So it was slotted to rain. It had a 90% chance of rain today. I don't know that it's rained at all. It's also had a calling for snow tonight, but it said it wouldn't stick, so I might not even see it in the morning. I'm okay if I don't. I am nervous about driving around and going around in the snow. So anyway, I have thoroughly enjoyed my stitch all day though. It has been so much fun, and I have stitched just about all day. It's been wonderful. So hope you've had a great Saturday. We'll talk to you soon. Happy stitching.